president of Reliance GIO, a runner who in 4 marathons has gone from 5:40 to 4:13. A painter, a musician, loves playing the accordion. And one of the things that he juggles his entire life with, he learned to do this because of running. So when he started running, that page is what he intends to share with all of us. He has also created a program where he works with people and helps them in their careers, where he draws analogies from running. So great page for all of us to look at. That Sumit could be here in front of you. In this session, we're going to finish with Sumit's part of it. We're going to finish with Sumit's section, question and answers with Sumit, and immediately after that, we will run through Kamna's session and Amit's session. All questions for Kamna and Amit we will take jointly at the end. So that's how we intend to do it. All the very best. Let's have a great run. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, DJ. I don't think I deserve the flowery the introduction that DJ did, but I'm not an expert in running at all. I don't think I'm an expert compared to Amit, who's going to be on the stage very soon. He's a Comrades runner. And a funny story, and I thought I would say it when he was around, but 3 years ago when I was doing my marathon and I had a 5-hour timeline, he was the pacer. And we ran for 5 hours and we did not speak one word. We were running next to each other for 5 hours. He was pacing and we got to know each other only at the end. And it's life is like that. You meet so many people along the way in marathons, and then we became good friends. We've been chatting with each other since the last 3-4 years. But that whole journey of him trying to help me achieve my 5-hour timeline at that point in time and do it selflessly. I mean, he was doing it his own. He's probably able to do it much faster, but he was helping all of us. I think that's the spirit of what marathon running is all about, and what I have got out of a lot more. And I have written a book, and the book is coming out in the next couple of months, and that's the way I started talking to DJ. The book is about career management. It's called Rules of the Game. And I have tried to say how managing your career is like a game, and you've got to play it like a game, and everything that you do, if you have that mindset, you can achieve so much more. And the whole game of managing your career is a lot more enjoyable. And that is how DJ said, why don't you come and speak to at the runners meet and introduce yourself, introduce the book, and also the things that you learn about managing your career, the things that you have learned running a marathon. And that's the linkage between me sitting here talking to you today. I was never into running. I was a couch potato. I was actually never into any sport. Till I was 36 years old, I did a lot of painting, music. I was coming from a very artistically inclined family, and running, playing was completely a waste of time as far as my parents were concerned. They were just, you're wasting your time, don't do it, just focus on it. You're a painter, don't run, don't play, you're going to spoil your hands, spoil your mouth, don't scream, you're going to spoil your throat. So that was what I grew up with. But I stayed in the US for 8 years, stayed in Australia, great places for doing well in sports, but I did nothing. I was a couch potato. I came back to India, came back to Mumbai, crying, great humility, but that's where I started running 7 years ago. 4 marathons, 5 full, and 4 half marathons later. I have set a target for a sub 4 marathon this year, and let's see if I can do it. I am already in conversation with the pacer for that. So hopefully next week will be a good week. So one of the things that marathon taught me was to create space in my life. It's sort of, when I started doing it, I realized that I could do a lot more things in life than I was doing before. It just created space, and that whole concept of not troubling anybody and doing a lot more. I wake up at 4 in the morning regularly, and that's the time I run, and that's the time I create that 3-4 hours extra in the day that most people don't have, and gives you the enormous high. By the time I'm ready for work, 6-7 hours of the day is over, I'm fully ready for the day. And this whole prioritization that you learn helps you in your work environment so much. It actually helps you manage all the day-to-day tasks that you face in your career. What to do, what not to do, what to push back, what to bring forward. And every day is not a marathon training day, nor is every day a marathon actual running day. So you can prioritize things up and down. I'm also a cyclist. I do long distance cycling, which I picked up only last year, but now I'm doing 100 kilometers, 150 kilometers every week. And it's become regular. I have not stopped doing anything that I did before. And that was this whole concept of creating space. I picked up a whole new sport without giving up anything that I was doing before. And this is the mentality that you pick up and helps you at your work. And I have not stopped doing anything. As I said, I'm working on one of the most challenging projects in the country with Reliance right now, and things are just happening. And I think a lot of that has got to do with the mentality. And the other thing that marathon running teaches you and that helps you in your career is this steady improvement that you set for yourself. Nobody tells it to you, but I started at 5:40, then I said, you know what, next year 5 hours, next year you said for 4:30, then you said 4:15, then you said 4. This thing, you're only competing with yourself and nobody is there to push you. And if you get the same mentality in your career, into your workspace, you know, your boss will not be there to guide you. You will be your own boss. You will soon be driving so much of your career yourself that it is going to be amazing. And I think running a marathon and setting your own goals and doing this over and over again has given me that enormous confidence that you'll be able to cut short that time and do that extra thing and go that extra mile every day and improve. And aiming for things that are beyond your possibility. I think I really know today that I'm not going to be able to do this 4 hours, but I'm aiming for that 4-hour marathon. And this pushing me, I know I'm going to push myself most next week to hit that, but it is beyond my potential right now. Today, that's what I'm thinking, but I'm going to give it a shot. And that same mentality at work, where you're pushing yourself, saying, you know what, that extra bit of sales, that extra project deadline, I will be able to do. When you know that all the odds are against you, I think that mentality is a direct parallel between work and running. And without goals, we are almost nobody. I mean, it's like, as Alison Wonderland said, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. If you don't have goals, you will not be achieving anything. And you have to set those goals. And that's what I talk about in my book, that if your boss is setting goals for you, you've already lost track about it. You have to set your goals and you've got to drive that spirit for yourself. And you've got to seek advice. When I was just roaming around the Expo, and the number of people who are willing to talk to you over here, I came here to listen to them because I'm going to learn so much from an ultra marathoner done so many times. But you're always seeking advice from people who have done it before, who have got that experience and who are going to pull you through. Last year, I had my friend and ultra marathoner himself, Rajat Chauhan from Back to Fitness. He was there next to me, and having an expert next to you is almost like having, I mean, for people who are Indian can relate to Krishna having been your charioteer. I mean, he literally pulls you through. And same for Amit when he did that when I was running my 5 hours. He was just literally pulling you through. You receive advice from people, from doctors, from nutritionists like Kamna. And the next one is this is very important, especially in India, getting the equipment right. I think we grew up in this jugaad mentality in India, and I grew up like that, where you said, you know what, your own achievement is most important, don't worry about this equipment. I mean, what are you talking about, shoes or anything? It's just your own spirit is most important. But very soon we realized that if you really want to excel in something, the right equipment is as important. And investing in the right equipment with the right mentality that I'm going to improve and I'm going to compete with the best, I think is very important at work and running. I'm not really selling anything, so I can say this with confidence. Your shoes, your dress, and I think every time I have made that little incremental change in my equipment. I mean, I cycle. As soon as I bought myself tipless shoes, I mean, you're anyway 10, 15, 20% faster than what you were doing before. You buy the right equipment, right bicycle, the right t-shirts. I mean, all of it helps. And when we start running, we don't realize it. We try to do with whatever we have got. But as you get better, you need to invest in the right equipment at work and in any sport. And I've seen that in squash, I've seen that in cycling, swimming, and all of areas. And I talk about that as well. And the other thing that there's a parallel is that one person's success doesn't mean the other person's failure. I think that is a huge parallel between in running as well as in career. I mean, when we are growing up, through your childhood, we are told that life is a competition. You have to be first, second, third. But as soon as you join your workforce, you realize that first, second, third, you coming first, second, third is of no importance whatsoever. It's a team thing. All of you have to come together and do something. And it is about this team spirit. It is also about helping other people succeed. As we were looking at the Pacers and talking, I can remember 2 years ago when this Dr. Rajat Chauhan was helping me. He actually helped 3 different people finish marathon in 3 different times. He was going forward, helping somebody move forward, coming back, helping somebody else. He's an ultra marathoner, so he could go back and forth between 3 times. He helped a girl achieve 4:13, he helped me achieve 4:30, and there was somebody else behind me who was doing 15 minutes less, and he was going back and forth. All he had to do was helping all of us achieve. And I think this is the spirit when we take back into our workplace. We help other people succeed. We create more leaders. And today we are so proud of the leaders that we have created and of other people that we help succeed. And I have people over here in the audience also who can vouch for the amount of inspiration that they have given me and I have given them in return. And everybody has their own pace of success. You don't need to be competing with other people. It's your own success. And you learn that, and even at work, if you apply that, you will go much faster than saying that you have to compete with this guy or that other person. You work together, you set goals, and you move ahead, and you work with people who have the same energy. That's the other thing. We call it pacing over here, but at work, we are looking at people with the same energy level, the same enthusiasm level. And if you get together with such people, you achieve so much more. You've got the harmony of 2-3 people working together, and your mindset gets you up to that next level. And you break all the barriers that you have got, which is the mindset that I'm talking about, is about working together. And the last thing that I want to talk about is don't be constrained by your plans. I mean, today we say that I want to achieve 4. Last year when I achieved 4:13, my plan was actually 4:30. I could have slowed down, I could have said, okay, I'm doing fine, let's slow down, let's not break myself. But that extra 20 minutes that I could move up from that gave me so much of a high to even try again another 15 minutes less this year. So that's we should not be constrained by our plan. Once we are doing well, we should just go ahead and change our plans. We should change our plans and set new goals. Every time we are trying to hit a new goal, we should move it up and reduce the time. I think that is again a huge parallel between what I have learned in running marathons and how I have applied it in my workplace. And do what is right. I mean, do what feels right. At the end of the day, you don't have to kill yourself even at work, even at running. You go with the flow, and if the flow is there and you're feeling like charge, go that extra mile and achieve the next step. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. The finishing isn't as important as the journey that you are going to go through. And in this change, you don't learn much when you are in one orbit, but the learning comes when you are about to change the orbit, when you are about to improve yourself. A lot of learning is in those changes that you are going to do in life. And I wish you all the best, all of you who are running for the marathon. Set great goals for yourself. Set that next. Whatever you have set for yourself today, I urge you to go and reduce 10-15 minutes out of that time. Set it in the next 1 week. Keep thinking that you're going to do it, and you will do it. And then go back and apply that in your workplace and really go succeed. Thank you.